Welcome to Amy Learns to Cook. On the show today, we're going to make baked mushroom risotto with caramelized onions. This recipe is so easy to make and it will wow your friends and family. So join me as we make baked mushroom risotto with caramelized onions. Okay, so I've done a little bit of the prep work. I've pretty much minced 3 cloves of garlic. I've chopped a pound of mushrooms, and I also chopped a head of a bunch of parsley. And we're pretty much going to be using this at the end, but I just pre-prepared it. So we're going to take a pan like this. You want something that's a little deep so you have room for all the water. And we're going to pretty much put some olive oil in here. And the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to saute our mushrooms. So you can use any kind of pan. This happens to be cast aluminum, and it's also non-stick, and it's actually a pretty light pan. I really like it. I use it all the time. This is actually a Marcus Samuelson cast aluminum pan. So we're going to go ahead and saute these down. Okay, so I've been cooking this for 5 or 7 minutes, and now we're going to put in our garlic. I have 3 cloves of minced garlic. You don't want to put your garlic in too soon because garlic will get bitter if you overcook it. So we're just going to put our garlic in like that. And we're going to let this go for a second. Okay, so next we are going to use 2 cups of arborio rice. And we're going to go ahead and fill that up. And one thing about a risotto, this is not like a traditional risotto, and one of the reasons it's not is because I am allergic to cheese, unfortunately, and sort of limits my ability to make a traditional risotto, because the traditional risotto is going to be really creamy, but unfortunately I can't have cheese. So if you don't have that problem, go ahead and you can put in some Parmesan or some Romano. We're going to go ahead and cook this a little bit till the risotto gets a little nutty. And then we're going to add some chicken broth. Okay, so now that we've sauteed the rice a little bit, we're going to go ahead and put in 4 cups of chicken broth. And I actually make this just out of chicken base. Certainly homemade chicken broth would be the best, right? But it's just fine if you use a store-bought broth. And we're just going to let this come to a really quick slow boil. We're going to put the lid on, and we are going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees. Okay, so it's boiling just a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and put a lid on it. And we're going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees. This is what makes this nice. It's sort of a set it and forget it sort of dish. And we're going to let this bake for about 30 to 40 minutes until all the water is dissolved. And then we'll take it out of the oven. Next, we're going to caramelize some onions. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to chop an onion. And this is a really big onion, so we're going to have fun with this one. Basically, I chop the ends off, cut it into half moons, take all this skins off. And we're just going to chop this not too small, just sort of a medium dice. Okay, so we're gonna put a little bit of olive oil into our pan, and this is actually an enameled cast iron pan. It's one of my favorites. We're gonna go ahead and let that heat up, and I'm gonna finish chopping up this onion. So we're going to go ahead and put our onion in the pan. And one is key to making caramelized onion is cooking them kind of slow. You don't want to fast saute them. You just want to kind of cook them over medium heat, slow. And it's going to take a little while for these to caramelize. And when I say caramelize, what I mean is when these start to slightly brown, they're going to get really sweet. The sugars are going to, like candy in them almost. They are going to be so, so good. So we're going to cook them just over a little medium heat, and you're going to see what happens to these babies. Okay, so we've been cooking the onions for about 15 minutes. They are nice and caramelized and delicious. We're going to put a little bit of salt on them. And they look so good. They're ready for the risotto. Okay, so it looks like our risotto's done. It's been in the oven for about 25 minutes. It could take anywhere from 25 minutes to 40 minutes, depending on how much of a boil you had it when you put it in the oven and depending on your pan. So we're gonna go ahead and take it out. And it's looking really good. Really, really good. Okay, we're gonna take the lid off. And we're pretty much going to fluff it up. Oh, it looks good. Stir the mushrooms all up in it. Okay, so we have a bunch of parsley that I've chopped, and we're just going to go ahead and we're going to put it in here. I like to stir some of it into the rice and then keep a little out to go on top. I think the green of the parsley just really makes it pretty. Now, if you want more of a traditional risotto, you want to use some cheese. Obviously, I can't have cheese, so mine is a little dry like regular rice. So let's go ahead and serve it up. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put it into our serving bowl. And it's not going to be like really separate. It's going to be a little, because there's a lot of starch in arborio rice. It looks really good. Wow. Looks delicious. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit more parsley on just for a garnish. And we're also going to put on our caramelized onions. Wow. It looks really, really good. The onions smell so good. Okay, so now we're going to plate it up and take a taste. Okay, so let's take a taste. I have a big plate of it. Wow. It's really good. You can taste the onions, the garlic, the parsley. It's really, really good. I would say that if you're able to eat cheese, it would really take it over the top. But without the cheese, it's really good. You can even make this totally meatless by using a vegetable broth. Wow. Put this with a piece of chicken. It is so good, I can't even stop eating it. Wow. If you like this recipe, please subscribe below and give me a like and a comment, and visit my website at amylearnstocook.com. The recipe will be available in a link down below. I'm also on Twitter and Pinterest at Amy Learns to Cook.
Alligator woman, scene one, take one.
Roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it!